Hello, everyone. My name is Yasmin Nahir, and I'm here to introduce a brief presentation on my inquiry proposal for art education at Boston University. My thesis is on technology integration in art education curriculum, with a specific focus on digital art and social media as a tool for social justice. So, the purpose of this inquiry is to investigate high school students and teachers' familiarity with the implementation of technology in both the arts and in the classroom for the purpose of social justice. By collecting data from avid high school media students and interviewing teachers, the study will identify strategies for teachers to guide their students to use technology as a tool in order to send visual images that advocate for social justice and other issues they want to convey. The goal is to gain insight on how our educators can better implement technology into the art classroom and help students advocate for social justice that can be shared on social media. So, some of my wondering questions were: how can digital technology help students create and share art that advocates for social justice on social media? Which strategies can art teachers use to integrate digital technology into art lessons that support students in expressing social justice themes? And how can art and design influence students' understanding and engagement with social justice issues? So, a bit about me and why I'm doing this. My experiences as a first generation Arab American growing up in the United States has helped shape my perspective on racism, social inequality, racial and religious prejudices, hateful comments, and housing inequality. My experiences have equipped me to combat some of these injustices and focus my teaching on helping students to better become equipped to do the same. It's my belief that through our education, students can better express their identities, share stories about their experiences, create impactful and meaningful art that sends messages to others about who they are, and develop methods to help cope with the realities of their positionality. So, the significance of this inquiry, the findings of this inquiry may help develop an understanding of the benefits and limitations of technology being integrated into art curriculum. Specifically, the research will assist in developing teaching strategies, understanding the benefits of technology as a tool for creating social art, social justice art, and highlighting key challenges educators may face utilizing tech as a tool in art for social media use, sharing, and creating. The significance of this inquiry is to help educators, school leaders, curriculum writers, students, and parents gain insight into how technology and art can intersect for social justice. So, what does the literature say about technology, integration in art, and also social justice integration in the arts? So, teachers can assist in exposing students to new methods that help communicate visual messages of social justice. Students can do this by utilizing technology and by understanding who has historically controlled visual imagery, propaganda, political and social messages historically. Teachers can find ways in which we can collaborate with students to shift our education in the future. Through gazing, students can reflect on who controls visual imagery and our understanding of reality, an important art education exercise within our education. That's a quote by Leonard from 2020. Some other examples of what the literature says are: when students are given the help to participate in art and technology, this enables them to send messages, to allow them to be heard. They thrive by delivering untold stories to their communities. Sweeney states that the visual artists have important work to do by addressing social and political issues through the medium of digital technology. Leonard suggests that art education is constantly changing and that a new phase of education has yet to happen through students, technology, systems, and leaders. He also suggests that art educators should design their curriculum that is based on the collaboration of tech tools. Sweeney suggests that art educators are critically re examining their methods for virtual instruction to incorporate social justice, the history of oppression in the United States, and how this influences art educational practices. A few more quotes on the literature by Surya Martinez and Puchlaska. The arts coincide when teaching cultural responsiveness, restorative practices, and contemporary art strategies. Plouffe and Hautrett suggest both teachers and students learn simultaneously, and that we should work together to better cultivate new ideas about how we think about the world, how we develop our curriculums within the practice, how we empower one another, and engage in these issues in productive ways. They also state that, or suggest that methods for educators to better assist students to practice social justice art through reclaiming their agency using art curriculum. They also suggest that art educators must work together to help cultivate social justice art education within our practice. Martinez and Puchlaska also suggest that the use of media arts as a method for approaching difficult conversations in art education is something that we should implement in our practice. So, a few of the methods that were used in the research to collect data during my inquiry were teacher interviews and student surveying. Two high school art teachers were interviewed on the challenges educators face and the benefits of integrating technology in the classroom, their teaching strategies, student practices, and curriculum as it related to Dewhurst's framework for social justice art education and social justice art utilizing technology. The student survey involved 28 out of 54 high school sophomores surveyed at New York School of Fashion and Design on how they felt about creating social justice art, sharing it on social media, and how comfortable they were with the use of technology in art as a whole. To collect data on student familiarity and comfortability with technology integration in the classroom, as well as their experience and interest in creating art for social justice, students participated in an anonymous Google survey that protected their identities. The student survey analyzed experience with technology and its integration within the art classroom. Students were also surveyed on whether or not their teachers incorporated social justice in their art curriculum and how they felt about having to create social justice art and share it on digital platforms. Teacher interviews assessed whether they applied concepts of tech integration in the art curriculum from Leonard, which suggested that art educators should design their curriculum that is based on the collaboration of tech tools. Their interviews also reflect the teacher's experience with making art intended to be viewed online that focuses on social justice, according to Sweeney. So the findings of the research suggested that integrating social justice themes into digital art projects projects enhances student awareness and encourages their advocacy on real world issues. The student survey reflected that high school students are aware of social justice issues because of having been exposed through social media, art education, or art making. The impact of art on students' understanding of social justice issues suggests that the involvement of social justice issues in art influenced how they engage with these issues outside of the classroom by having them reflect on the disparities and what can be done about them. The majority of students are open to advocating for social justice online and feel they are encouraged to or have been encouraged to create digital art around social justice themes because they find that digital tools are helpful for them. Students believe social media is moderately to very effective at helping to get messages out into the world, with TikTok and Instagram being the leading sources of information for their age group. Teachers who were interviewed shared mutual interest in the benefits of tech integration in their teaching practice, as well as similar challenges when using technology in the art classroom. The teachers felt social justice integrated in the arts needed monitoring and censoring, both student justice exposure and the student creation. Teachers discussed the necessity to help provide context to help students gain multiple perspectives and insight on social justice issues being presented so that students can gain various perspectives from multiple and unbiased sources so that students develop ideas of their own. During teacher interviews, both participants expressed overall success with the integration of technology within the art classroom, that students at the high school level are highly adaptive when it comes to technology, and that they face little difficulty when learning new software and digital platforms. So, what did the student survey results say? The following graphs that I'm going to share with you show the students' responses to the questions that were asked. The first one being whether or not like whether or not they liked using digital tools such as computers or tablets. An overwhelming majority at 57% said that they liked using digital tools, with 16 out of 28 students saying yes, 5 out of 28 saying no, and 6 out of the 28 saying maybe. Whether or not students were interested in creating art that focused on social justice showed about 18 out of the 28 students saying maybe, 4 out of the 28 saying no, and 6 out of the 28 students saying that they were interested. When students were asked if their art teacher had encouraged them to use digital tools to create art about social justice, with 1 being not often and 5 being very often or extremely often, you can see that most students sort of lingered here in the middle in terms of not as often or moderately often. When students were asked if they felt comfortable advocating for social justice online, 64% of students said maybe, 21% of students said yes, and 14% of students said no. When students were asked if they felt that creating digital art in class had made them more aware of social justice issues, 46% of students, with 13 out of 28, said maybe, in the middle, somewhat. Made them 5 out of the 28 said that they were extremely aware of social justice issues through the art making process. And 1 out of the 28 said that they were not aware at all of social justice issues through the art making process. When students were asked how helpful digital tools were in creating social justice themed art, with 1 being not effective at all and 5 being extremely effective, you can see how the trend continues where most students tend to lean towards the middle and answer moderately, with 17 out of 28 of the students saying that it was somewhat effective. When students were asked how well do social media platforms work for getting their messages out, with 1 being not effective and 5 being extremely effective, again you can see that the majority of students voted that social media was moderately effective at getting their messages out. And finally, when students were asked which social media platforms they would use to share art about social justice, you can see that the leading social media platforms for students at the high school sophomore level was TikTok with 25 out of 28 participants saying that was the leading source of social media usage, and followed by Instagram at second place, 12 out of 28 students voting Instagram. Okay, so what did the teachers have to say who were interviewed? Here are some teacher interview quotes. Students have been very receptive to the process of how to get their art into the computer and then how to either alter it or enhance it and complete it for either social justice art or any other art that they may choose to make. So that was Miss Apana. She also said technology is also used to open their minds and expose them to things that they wouldn't normally see in a textbook or in their communities. And in this day and age where things change so fast, it helps them to keep up a bit more with society. I think it's really important that teachers properly use technology by showing students the benefits of it for at home and at school to get whatever it is necessary for their work. Another quote by Miss Apana during the interview was that recent and historical events have an impact on all of us. Even as kids, I think that students can certainly use technology to create art, share art in different and multiple networks in their own schools, communities, and also to broaden their awareness of causes that may affect societies outside of their own country. They can also present events from the past, such as when we went through COVID and the George Floyd incident that caused an uprising in our country. Mr. Sinesio had this to say. When it comes to social justice issues, a teacher needs to present something and put it in the proper context the best they can. Students are already exposed to millions of things on social media. Give weight to context, make a statement about what you're doing. An artist's statement is where there's an opportunity for them to articulate their positions on things and their values. So, in conclusion, navigating the future of technology in arts. The implications of the inquiry imply a necessity for integrating technology in the arts, as well as a need for advancing how art educators implement social justice in their teaching practice. The findings suggest the relevance of technology in education as well as its ability to function as a creative tool. The findings also concluded that art serves as a method to amplify voices and assist in advocating for social justice. As teachers navigate through challenges that may arise with changes in technology and how information can be censored online, they also continue to serve as facilitators in how students can learn about varying identity complexes, injustices, and means of expression to be able to share information outside of their community. The research suggests students like using technology in the classroom and enjoy making digital art, especially as it pertains to social justice. Art education can benefit from continuing to expand on how we introduce a variety of mediums to our students. The creative field continues to expand. For our educators, this presents a challenge of not only having to keep up with current trends and advancements in creative mediums, but also how we apply that to important concepts in our teaching practice, such as social justice. The complexities of societal construct present many challenges for educators because although we make conscious efforts to implement as many equitable practices in the classroom as we can, we still also face challenges that can be beyond our realm of control outside of school. It is the job of the teacher to give all students equal access, but also to accommodate accordingly depending on circumstance. So, in conclusion, the practices I plan on implementing based on this inquiry are utilizing technology, continuing to advance my familiarity with the medium, utilizing technology as a tool for creating digital social justice art, and ensuring equitable classroom practices that focus on embracing and enriching identity. And that's all, folks. Thank you so much for watching and reading my presentation. Here are a list of the references that I used, and thanks for watching. Bye.